Hello everyone, welcome all to another episode here on the BJ Show. We got the three sports. We got the basketball, the soccer, known for football, and cricket. So, as we all know, the BBL 15 of the second week will be announced at the end of the next episode. Stay tuned for that. We'll have all the wrap up from the fourth test of the Ashes between the Australian and England at the MCG in Melbourne, Australia. We got all the latest of the soccer of the A-League, the Women's National Basketball League, and the National Basketball League for the women's and the men's. So I'll do my best for all. There's going to be a few split rounds. So I'll do everything I can do in the way of the soccer, the Ashes is no problems, and the basketball. It's also going to be maybe a few games remaining. So at least one game to share. So sit back, relax, and let's get on with it. Welcome aboard, and if you're liking, give it a like, subscribe down below right on your screen just like that, and I much appreciate for your support. So for our and down, let's get into the A-League. The A-League is the men's and women's. So we're starting with the Ninja. So we do apologise with round 9 and round 10 split by bit by bit. So what I'm going to be doing is I'm going to be doing round 9. So round 9 was completely, besides one game, is not available to the 4th of February between Sydney FC and Brisbane Roar. So that's round 9. Every other game is complete. Round 10, on the other hand, one game is complete. The other two games will share and when they'll be playing because one game's not going to be available till then. And then there's a few other games are not complete. One's in round 8 on the 20th of Jan. One's on the 30th of Jan, round 7. And every other game is complete. There's a bit of a mixed bag confused. So the one in round 5 is the 4th of February between Melbourne City versus Western Sydney Warriors. So that game is near to be complete. Round 4, 17th of December is TBD, unavailable to be this game to be played due to whatever sensations. So do apologise for that. So this is for the Ninja competition. All other rounds are being completed. So the games are to come in the 2026 of the A-League Ninja series of the A-League is Melbourne, Sydney and Western Sydney Warriors, as I mentioned before. We have on the Wednesday, the 25th of March, we have Central Coast Mariners and Wellington Phoenix. So that will be a good game to watch. And that is round 5. So there's two games for round 5. And round 7, there's one game to complete. And round 8 is also the same. So 7 and 8 is one and a few early in the series. So we got the 9 and 10 mixed bag. I'm going to put massive split rounds here. And what games we got on our hands for this series. So what can I start off is starting on with round 9. And we do have, out of the games, we got one game remaining not being available to share. So first up is the LA United versus Western Sydney Warriors. And LA United took a 5-2 win. Well done. We have Central Coast Mariners take on Melbourne Victory with a 3-3 draw, lots of goals. Canberra United, well, they took a 1-0 win over Newcastle Jets. This is the Melbourne City and Perth Glory. Well done to Melbourne City 3-1 victory with Wellington Phoenix having the week off. and we can't split in onto this one for round number 10. Games are not available, and I'm going to share them right now, and we'll get to that final game. So, Cubby, as I record this episode, round 10, well, one game was complete. So let's get that done, and then we'll get back to where I was. So Cammy and I had the week off, so Happy New Year to them. Enjoy your week off, and then back into the soccer. So the second, 21st of December, Melbourne City versus Melbourne Victory. What a Christmas traditional. The two rivals go head to head at Amy Park. 2-1 victory went to Melbourne City. These other games are New Year's Eve specialty games. Ninja. We got two games back to back over the next 2 days. The time I record this is on the 30th of December 2025. So, Western Sydney Warriors versus Wellington Phoenix go head to head. And look, tides to this is a very heavy defeat with the Western Sydney Warriors getting a disappointing 5-2 loss against LA United. Sydney FC, on the other hand, I apologise. Wellington Phoenix, on the other hand, also not having too great a start. I'm going to get this as a draw. I think a draw will be really important for Western Sydney Warriors. I think they'll come back and they need to find something, but I think it's going to be a draw for that game. Okay, so round 10 continues on. The Central Coast Mariners host the Brisbane Roar, and this is the New Year's Eve special afternoon, and both teams are in similarly good form, but one had a draw, absolutely a beautiful draw there. Don't know why I will say beautiful, but you know, Brisbane Roar has not played for a really long, making a lot of games. They had a week of it, actually about 3 weeks back, and took a 3-1 on the road in Adelaide. That's the last time they played. I reckon this will be a really good balanced New Year's special, but Central Coast Mariners just continue to play some good football, soccer, and I'm going to stay with Central Coast Mariners. They'll take that 2-1 victory. And coming into the New Year's in late January, which we'll share these later down the track, Newcastle Jets, LA United, and Perth Glory and Sydney FC to run up the round 10. So nothing really to report in a massive way. There's some big split rounds happening in the Ninja A-League women's competition. There's a lot in hell in the new year. So a lot of games to play. We'll wrap it up from into round 11. And these will be reminded over time. So to make it nice and smooth, Western Sydney Warriors take on Campbell United first weekend in January to start the New Year's on Saturday twilight, and then we go to Brisbane Roar and Wellington Phoenix on the Saturday evening. Saturday evening also in round 11 for Perth Glory host Newcastle Jets, LA United and Central Coast Mariners at Cooper Stadium on the Sunday afternoon, and to finish it up, Melbourne City versus Sydney FC to round up round 11 with Melbourne Victory with the week off. So that's all we're going to do for now. We're going to go into the next league, which is the men's, which is the Suzuki UTEA men's league for round 9. So it's a bit more straightforward for them. So there's only one game. Well, actually, we do complete the Christmas specialty round into round 10. So because I'm going to remind you all round 9 into round 10 and then round 11. So first up was the Christmas weekend of football for the A-League soccer competition for the Australian New Zealand, with LA United head to HBF Park in Perth, took a 1-0 lead. Well done, LA United. So here we go in Wellington at Sky Stadium. We have Wellington Phoenix host the Central Coast Mariners. Well done, Wellington Phoenix, taking a 3-1 win. So we do apologise. We are now going into backwards. So we had Amy Park for the showdown. Traditional Melbourne versus the City versus the Victory. Melbourne Victory, and the Victory took the 1-0 with Newcastle Jets. They were in McDonald's Jones Stadium and were hosting with the Newcastle Jets, were hosting Sydney FC, and well done Newcastle Jets with the 2-0 win. And Auckland went to Cambank Stadium in Western Sydney in of the Warriors, hosting the Auckland FC, and Auckland FC taking a 2-0 win. And then to wrap it up on the Friday evening, it's McFarman hosting Brisbane Roar. They were at Campbelltown Sports Stadium. McFarman FC taking a 2-1 over the Brisbane Roar. So there you have all the results, and for the Christmas, we have the New Year's Eve special traditional. Now, some games were not available due to the TBD. So that was post Christmas. So what we're going to do, what I am going to do, I am going to share with you all the traditional of the start of round 10, game 1. So the Boxing Day special traditional of high scoring football, high scoring at McDonald Jones Stadium with Newcastle Jets hosted the McFarman FC, and it must be an absolute shootout. And this is what you like in an absolute injury time to take the win. A must win, a must victory. 4-5 went to McFarman, well done. 9 goals overall, good job. We had to go to Cooper Stadium, what a traditional game this was. 3-2 the LA United. The girls did it, the men's did it. What a weekend of football for the Adelaide United crew. So there you had traditional in Adelaide. We go to Amy Park, Melbourne FC host Perth Glory. Perth Glory taking a 3-1 victory. And just recent, on the 29th of December 2025, at Amy Park, back to back overnight with the Melbourne City. Now the Melbourne Victory were hosting Wellington Phoenix. 5-1 Melbourne victory. The games to come for the New Year's Eve traditional back-to-back over the next 2 days are in. Well, this game's wasn't available to be attended, so we actually got the one game remaining of we're going to share in a moment in the preview straight into round 11. So, well, unfortunately, Sydney FC and Auckland FC weren't available to go head-to-head in a traditional clash. What a game that was. But we do have one more game, and we are at Hall Tech Stadium, and that's in Central Coast Mariners. They're hosting the Brisbane Roar. I reckon it's going to be a draw. I think it's going to be a good battle, but I really am going to say Brisbane Roar to take the win. I'm going to let them go to a 2-0 win. But you never know what can happen. I could say it's a draw. Both teams could go either way. All right, done is done. We go now to the previews into the next round, into New Year's, and welcome to New Year's for 2026. A-League, UTE, will eyes Suzuki. UTE A-League means round 11. We got FC. We got back to Go Media. That's in Auckland. They host the Newcastle Jets. Wow. They're looking pretty snazzy right now, Auckland, and very nicely on top of the ladder. But my goodness, City FC, they got some. But there's their game plan. They do host this game, so how can we have some great games to go? So I apologise. It is Newcastle Jets, and Newcastle is part of a suburb in New South Wales. So I just want to let you know a little bit of that. So, well, unfortunately, I'm going to just so relaxing of a draw here. So there you go. Next one is at Campbell Stadium. We have the second game for the New Year's Day into the evening. Sydney Warriors hosting the McFarman FC. What a traditional clash this could be. Wow, I reckon this is going to be anyone's game to win. But with all what's going to be happening, I reckon it's going to be McFarman taking a draw at Campbank Stadium. Next one's at Amy Park on the Friday evening. Melbourne FC, the Melbourne Victory. That's the team. They're hosting Perth Glory. Now, Melbourne FC hosting Phoenix before the New Year's Eve ended 2025, and they took a 5-2 win. Now, with Perth Glory, they just recently looking pretty nicely, but not overly great, but okay. They are going to be challenged. I think it's Victory taking a 3-1 victory, injury victory. So, Brisbane Roar versus hosting the Wellington Phoenix. Well, I have to say Brisbane Roar to take a 1-0 but I'm going to say draw. No score matter when I say draw as well. I'm going to say that. So there you have it. Now we got into some fun football. Hope you enjoy it. Make sure you give this a like, subscribe down below. I much appreciate for your help. So every minute, every second, every watch time you watch, it will rise to the occasion and get the funds I need to raise this YouTube channel. So for our doubt, we're going from We'll Go Media, Comeback Stadium, into Amy Park, into KO Stadium, which is Brisbane Roar hosting Wellington Phoenix to draw there. We go to Amy Park for the Melbourne FC City, Sydney FC going head to head. And I think Sydney FC and Melbourne City, I reckon it's going to be a draw. I think it's going to be a good game. It's going to be a decent crowd there as well. Matt, a few will return from KO on Saturday afternoon. We have Friday night at Amy Park. We returned there for the Melbourne City. Vice versa was the City, then the Victory. It's a victory to the City. There you have it. So the final game at Coopers, Adelaide United hosting Central Coast. They are looking nicely, but I'm really not unsure how Central Coast Mariners are looking. They are looking really much last on the ladder. Adelaide United should win, but don't even expect that overall. I think Central Coast Mariners, they'll really will be some really good pressure for football style of them, but I think with all Adelaide's attacks and defence, think they're going to hold on a really nice win here, and they're going to take the win 2-1 to start the New Year's. That's it. We're done. Let's head to the next sport. Thanks for playing. Thanks for listening. Catch you all next time here on the BJ Show. Make sure you give this a like. Thanks for listening. And let's get on with all the latest of the Ashes between Australia and England. Hello, welcome back here on the BJ Show. So, if you enjoy that A-League with the Suzuki UTE A-League men's and the Ninja A-League soccer football, hope you enjoyed much as I did. We're going to share the Ashes, the results that now we are celebrating with England taking it back. How did England took it? Did Australia took it? We all know what happened. Let's drive into it. And boy, what an absolute expectation we have with you right now. Wow. So, how much is important is a victory? How much is a victory to you? Well, this is poor batting. I'm going to say one of the worst heavy, really. Wow. I'm going to start with England because this totally proves that England are still a good team. I'm going to give them credit for that. And I don't know what to say. Really don't know what to say, but it's been a very, very a challenging, let's just word it, a challenging summer, and anyone can win from anywhere. But we'll start with England's wickets and Australians' wickets, and then we'll go into England's batting route. Boy, what a game this really turns around. We'll start with the first innings first, England and Australian bowling, and then we vice versa into second for the England, then Australia. So England's bowling attack with Gus Atkinson getting much better this innings at MCG. Pretty good there. Was 2 for 28 from 14 overs. Good effort. We had Brendan Kay. He had 1 for 42 from 12 overs. Josh Hungy, 5 for 45, an incredible 11.2. And Ben Stokes, 1 for 25, 8 overs. We have the Australian Tigers are bowling. Now, my goodness, Mitch Starkey, 2 for 23, 6 overs from Michael Nessa, 4 for 45. Scott Bullen, 3 for 30 for 9 overs. No wicket for 8, 4 overs. Jay Richards and Cameron Green, just 0.51 wickets. So we come to the batting, and there's a lot of work for England to really fire up, making from 152 for Australia. Now, I thought it'd be a bit better from Australia, but England came. They really were ready. They learn what they need to prove, and they prove it. They prove so much. And Zach Catterley started off as 5 for 14. Ben Duckley 2 for 5. Jacob Batpel 1 for 5 comes in. Joe Root Duck from 15 balls. Harry Rook, well done, 14 from 34, best batsman for England. 16 from 38, Ben Stokes continued to dominate with the bat, but fortunately there's some ups and downs, but that happens. 2 from 3 from Jamie Smith. Will Jacks, 5 from 10. Gas Atkinson, 28 from 38, pretty accuracy there. Brennan Case, 4 from 12. Josh Dungley, 1 from 9. So, from an Australia point of view, and this proves so much. Trevor Tad and Jack Wellville, with Trevor Tad 12 and 22, 10 and 23, Jack Wellville, Marcus Lombire 6 for 19, Steve Smith 9 for 31, Hugh Crayman Krishna 29 for 52, Alex Carey 20 from 35, Cameron Queen a run out, Payne no game, 17 from 34. We have Michael Nessa 35 from 49. Our top really, that is our best batsman, and he's a bowler. So Joe Richards, no from 1 ball, and a duck was Scott Boland. So it really proves that we do have a very good batting team. We just can't get there, and this has been the challenge. When England gets momentum, they'll come into their momentum to have their summit when they get back to England. So it's a really important, and we'll do vice versa this time. We'll now show what Australian batsman's been doing all this time, and fortunately, I think it's Mitchell Starc, 2 for 55 and 10. No wicket from 54, 8 overs. Michael Nessa, 2 for 22, 5.2. Jay Richards, and 2 for 29 for 9 overs. Scott Boulan, and it proves that England really shown their class. 1 from 25 overs. Gus Atkinson, Brandon Cade, 4 for 34, 11 overs. 2 for 44, 11 overs. Josh Tungley and Ben Stokes, 3 for 24. Pretty good effort from 7.3 overs. Now from the batting team form, England will start with them after. We'll start with this is really proves that, and I'll share the final scores as well with Scott Bullen. That's the order, and this is where it changes. This is where this change. And 6 from 17 starts the batting over top from Travis Head, 46 from 67, a best batsman for this series, for this test. Jack Wellville, 5 from 15, Marcus Lombire, 8 for 18, Steve Smith, 24 from 39, a best second batsman, a Duck, Hugh Man Fraser from 2 balls, Alex Carey, 4 from 6, Cameron Green, 19 from 29, Michael Newsom from Duck from 5 balls, Mitchell Starc, whack from 2 balls, and Jay Richards 7 from 10. So they're your Australian batsmen, and it really shows that Zach Cowley comes in 37 from 48, Brian Duckley 34 from 26, Ben Case 6 from 8, Jacob Batwell, my goodness, 40 from 46. This changed completely. Joe Root 15 from 38, much better. We had Harry Boyd was subbed out as well from 1822, Ben Stokes 2 for 9, and 3 from 2. Jamie Smith, West, Will Jacks, Gus Atkinson, and Josh Tunke, West, the not available. So the final score here for both teams will share as Australia first, all out for 152 first inning, 132 in the second inning for England. Now, how can England actually got the win? They have to absolutely point in the clinic. They started well with the ball, and Australia went in and forced the bat. And to wrap things up, England 110, all out, 6 for 178. Now, this is anything but massive for Australia was going to take the win and all that. No, it wasn't enough. It was not enough. One of the worst performances on Australian surface, and that we know how much respect we have for Australia. We know how much we've shown how much I love sharing these results. And the BBL 15 will make this very short, but that will be coming your way very soon here on the BJ Show. Stay tuned for the latest of that on the next episode. So, wow factor in any way. That's it. Now, the Sydney Test. Well, what a game that is going to be, and what a classic series that's going to be in a massive time, in a massive way. So, the 4th to the 8th, Australian Central District Time, ACDT, if I got that correct, is in Sydney, Australia, Sydney Cricket Ground, Australian versus England. The 5th and final test is finally arrived. How is this going to end? Is Australia just going to take another win to end the series, or are we going to leave it as 3-2? Is it going to be, 3-1.1 to make it a pretty even Steven? We'll find out very soon. What a traditional clash this is going to be to finish the Ashes. And stay tuned, because what an actual traditional specialty clash episode we have with you, and with joined with Aiden on hopefully with you in the next one. So stay tuned for that and all that. Aiden will go through his thoughts, all the results in that. I will just share and other thoughts in different ways, but very similar. So we're going to wrap it up for the Ashes in the Cricket Show here on the BJ Show. Thank you so much. If you like the Cricket Ashes series or here on the BJ Show Cricket Show, give this a like. Hopefully you enjoyed it. Stay tuned for the BBL 15. Will not be shared on this episode, but the next one will be all the latest one as much as possible. Each in and week out, all the latest are here on the BJ Show, who end of the series, including finals. As well, stay tuned, we head into the Now the Basketball series here on the BJ Show. As usually, I'll share it week in and week out as much as I can of the men's and the women's competition. Hopefully, you just give this a lovely like and subscribe while on your screen. Thank you so much for your support. Thank you so much. We'll see you soon. All right, let's head into the National Basketball League. Here we go. Welcome back to the final sport here, the National Basketball League for the men's and the women's. Hope you give this a like, and thank you so much if you do subscribe. Many gifts of that, and all the watch time. That's also a gift from me, or to you, to me, that, or even for this great channel, will go into funds to run this fund. For all that, let's drive into the final sport, which is basketball, my favourite sport, and so much to cover. Wow, we do now. Hopefully, enjoyed the A League. So much to cover, enjoyment of that, and as well the most important, the Ashes between Australia and New Zealand, England. So we'll start with the women's competition, and what some great games to celebrate in of this series. And wow, I'm more proud to present round 11's almost complete. Almost complete. With 2 games remain. So I will share the last 2 games as I did in the men's preview. The next episode will be results from those. So we'll go back nice and smooth. We had Canberra Capital take on Sydney FC. Well done to Sydney FC, big road winners on the road, and to take it a pre-Christmas gift victory over improved Canberra Capitals, a 91-61. Second game in, we head to the south side of Melbourne Flyers hosting LA Lightning, struggling to get another win. To take the win over LA Lightning, well done, 85-72. We go to Perth on this Sunday evening with Perth Lynx hosting Geelong. 106-78. Perth Lynx are the best team. They are favourites, in my opinion, to win the championship. Too early, I know, but this has proved so much. But anything can happen in the second half of the year. So, well done Geelong struggling with form and all that happens, and all the best in the next part of this round. So that's it for round 11 results, but round 11 has two more games between Bushring, the Sydney Flames, and the South Side Melbourne Flyers. Really, in Sydney, I know, pretty hard to tip. I really think Sydney Flames look some momentum coming in. Southside got a nice win there. One's at home, one's on the road, vice versa. They take on each other. This is going to be a tough decision. And both teams on the same win-loss road. And I'm backing up Sydney Flyers to take the win. Then we have the New Year's Eve special between Townsville and Bendigo. What a way to end the series. And I mean really to end the series. To end the year of basketball 2025. It is second versus first. Who else to have the best game to last? I'm going to go with, and I'm not joking with this, I'm going with Bendigo in Townsville to take the win. One could be an overtime. Never know what can happen. Both two teams are going head to head. Could be one of the favourites to make the grand final. So there you have it. That's my team's restrictions with Southside on the Tuesday evening and Bendigo Spirits on that. We got around 12. Happy New Year to everyone. 26 WNBL or WNBL 26. I prefer to say that because NBL 26 is a very common thing in Australian basketball. So, Spurs versus sits on the ladder if I got that correct. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Wow. After that could change. So, but not much really in a big way. So, Adelaide Lightning have struggled against this team. They met in one, the very much all in December, like early in the beginning of the season. Now, this is going to be a very massive challenge for Adelaide, and I think Perth got a massive win against Geelong. Unfortunately, I'm going to say with Geelong with this game. The second game, we go to Saturday basketball in Melbourne at Big State Basketball Stadium 9th of VSBC. Southside Melbourne Flyers host Geelong Indians. And I think I'm confident Southside will take the win there. But the UCC, the Capitals, are hosts at the AIS host Perth Link. Now, I'm not saying Canberra will lose and prove their loss, but they lost very comfortable in Sydney. Well, I apologise, at home against Sydney FC. Flames. The Sydney Flames. Sorry, I got my names mixed up. But now I think Perth Lynx look very comfortable. They look really fresh, ready to take on a new challenge in 2026. Perth Lynx to win. LA Lightning host Townsville. It could be fifth, it could be anywhere on the ladder, but LA Lightning hosting the top two best team in the WNBL coming into 26 series. And I really think Townsville should win this, but I'm back up with LA Lightning with the win. Well, to wrap up on the Monday, Tuesday, first up is at Sydney Flames, Ocean Bendigo Spirits. That's on the Monday night. And then working into Tuesday night basketball, Townsville versus Geelong. And I think Bendigo and Townsville go back to back with those wins. There you have it. Fly and wrap it up with I'm going to say the NBL 26, and we do. We have a back-to-back Wednesday night, and we'll explain that very soon. But I'm going to share all this nutritional into New Year's and how that all works. So right now, we are going to share round 14 and 15 back-to-back. Their previews round 15. We're only 8 rounds and minuting. And there's some really best games to watch. And I've watched one of my favourite teams are flying at the moment, top of the ladder. We'll share that very soon. But they play back-to-back in this round. We go back to Christmas Eve. And I've got to say, happy holidays and all that during these two teams. Adelaide 36 hosts Cairns Taipans. Cairns Taipans are struggling. I can't say where's their culture. They've got to find. I believe they've got a good team. In regardless, they've got to trust each other. Trust the game plan. It will work. But unfortunately, Cairns are not finding their magic. They've got to find something. Trust your coach. LA 36ers came out home. They know what to expect. Last time these two met for Christmas Eve, Cairns took the job done. So anything can possibly happen. LA have coached this game. and a great spirits. And my opinion, make this game early in the day because trust me, Christmas Eve can be very crazy. But I reckon the 5 o'clock schedule is pretty good. Anyway, moving on. 93-80-73, 93-73. I did watch this game, but not on Christmas Eve. But I actually forgot about this game. Very unusual. I know shame on me, but I really think, LA looked very nicely. They're in the top two for this competition, known for the Uncom Cup. It's a 4K. Wow, good money. Believe me, a nice little bit of chunk of change or bit of money in their pockets, but that's okay. But we come to the 25th of December, Christmas basketball in Sydney, and Sydney Kings host the Hawks. What a traditional treat. But unfortunately, Sydney were far too good. 108-84. Unfortunately, a 24 point wasn't into a close battle. And unfortunately, the champs are not the champs this year. They are not going to be there. Sydney are far too good. They needed the win to continue their form, and they took a very nice NBL 26 gift wrapping baskets. We go into one hell of a game. What I think the Boxing Day NBL 26. Both teams are struggling big time. We go to what I think top two best games of the round. Well, New Zealand travelled to my Stank Bank Arena in Tasmania. Tasmanian Jack Jumpers are hosting New Zealand Breakers. And what can I say about this game? New Zealand took it. It wasn't just a 2 point, a 10 point. This is the team that struggled. They have been due for a champion. It's been 17 NBL seasons since they joined the NBL. 2008 since they joined. And oh my goodness, this is the why New Zealand wanted to find a way to win this game. They went to OT and it was only 1 point apart. 1 point, 81-80. The final score is 81-80. New Zealand took this win, upset Tasmania, and wow. Have you got an actual chance, bravely, to have these two going head to head in battles? But we go to Saturday basketball. We have Brisbane Bullets hosting Melbourne United. New coach at the Brisbane Entertainment Centre. And boy, Brisbane. They came. They never let Melbourne United do their job. And Melbourne United know how important. I'm not doing best player at the moment. Chris Scotland back in action, playing big minutes. But this is huge. This is massive. And the game I'm about to share with you all. Now, well done to Melbourne United with a 92-86, 92-87 win in Brisbane. So, wow, I watch every quarter, second, minute, you name it. This is the 33rd sold-out crowd. This is why basketball's huge in Adelaide, South Australia. Who does not want to play for Adelaide? This is the home of basketball, the home of football, as well in Melbourne. But this is not just a sold-out crowd. 33rd sold out in 2 years. Records breaking of 10,041 was the records keep breaking Adelaide. Mike Wells is seeing this team and making an aim to win a championship. Adelaide deserves a championship. We are due to aim another championship in the competition. And this is why Adelaide's so good. They find way, do the hard way into easy, and they do it perfectly. They will lose from a loss. They'll improve what they need to do against an Adelaide 36ers and Perth Wildcats is the next game. Now, we knew Perth were going to come out absolutely on top. We knew that. There was a lot of technical fouls, more for Adelaide than Perth, but that's okay. We know how important that Mike Wells has won the top best team coaches. I've never seen such a team coach. They listen to him. They listen to the game plan. And it does take a while to get to know that game plan. Look how, because I'm more proud, just so proud of this team right now. And I am more proud. We started poorly. It wasn't the shooting, it's our defense. Perth came out on top, and we knew that. Great shooting, because they will do it. And I think it was the second half. Adelaide just had more power and they had more confidence. I think because they have more belief, and it was from the second and the third quarter really shut down Perth's defense into offense. Bad shooting came about. The free throws really lift the crowd. The Hungry Jacks, Cheeseburger Code really lift. And Melbourne did not allow Adelaide to get that. I went to that Adelaide 36ers versus Melbourne United. Go and check that out because I tell you right now, what a whipping of a views and thoughts of that game. But stay tuned because I'll be going to a couple in the Jaguars. Well, I will let you all know that I will be doing that in the NBL 26 series in January 2026. So stay tuned for all that. But it was, I can just talk and talk for hours, but I've got a few more games to share. But credit to Perth, we knew there was some absolute crazy calls, in my opinion, but we knew how important the LA needed to win this game. Very much want to be in that top two. And Adelaide's got 7 games, not including the Icon Cup. We've got one more game of that. And we've got back-to-back games for that. We'll share that in my previews. But I'm really proud of Adelaide. We got some great talents. Players go through so much in life. To play professional basketball, to play in this sport, it's incredible. So congratulations to LA 36. It's perfect. Wildcat, heads up. Season's not over. Yes, it happens. But that's life. We know you're a good team. I have respect for that. You always have a great battle against Adelaide. And man, it really goes to the wire. I'm moving on now. Let's get on with the next one, which is we are back. Now I want to share my Monday night basketball, and then I will share my previews of the 30th. It's the final game for the round. And the next time we'll share this will be included of the previews like we did in the WNBL. Exactly the same routine. So we ended with in my State Bank Arena. We're back there. Tasmanian Jumpers host Southeastern Melbourne Phoenix. Now, how much improved that Tasmanian Jumpers got the win? They got the win because they trust each other. They started well. They knew important how good they've had some injuries, Phoenix, and they look a bit worried in my opinion. And unfortunately, they're just not looking like team I know. Nathan Selby, 5 from 13 from the 3-pointer land. You got players don't even play, but can they believe in each other? So a player that know how much it is important, and wow, that's all I can say. Wow. And well done to Tasmania. Just jumpers, they're good. They're just good. And Phoenix, South isn't Melbourne Phoenix. Bad luck, heads up. We go to the final game. Previews only. Sydney Kings, hosting Brisbane Bullets. This will be a close one. Sydney Kings with the win. Okay, round 15. New Year's Eve special traditional. We go to the Win Entertainment Centre with William Hawke hosting the Tasmanian Jumpers. Both have recently, the last 2 seasons, have won championships. So they'll be going like it's a battle of all. Then we have the bottom place Cairns Pipe Ends hosting the Southeast Melbourne Phoenix and the NBL 26 2025. What can I say about these 2 teams going head to head? Wow. It's not my interest to know, but these are not my top 4. We know that those 2 hosting these games are definitely not making finals because they just don't look like they want to be there. With Tasmania and Southeast Melbourne Phoenix, they are actually in the top 6. Anything can happen. Anything can happen. But wow. I'm going to be really. Now, this is not the NBL 26 season. I'm going to be showing. This is the Icon Cup. So, not the NBL 26 competition. It's actually the Eagle Cup comp. And just give you a little bit of idea what's been happening. The Eel Hawks are playing really good. But these 2 Bond teams are actually, I reckon, going head to head no. So, yes, they are. Oh my goodness. What an actual battle of all. Wow. How amazing. Who's going to take against 10 Type Bands and Southeast and Melbourne Phoenix in the cup? We don't know. We don't know. Both have not won the game. I think Southeast and Melbourne Phoenix should win this game, and I'm backing them up. The Eel Hawks and Tasmania. Eel Hawks should win this. They want to win money. They have to win this. They got to win this. But I think for the experience of champs, Tasman win. They're gonna win, and there you have it. So there my UZ. Now we come to the first. We back to NBL 26. Brisbane with new coach, new style. They lost only by a few points against Melbourne United. They host now Perth Wildcats. Now Perth Wildcats have got off a big loss against Adelaide 36ers on the Sunday previously, 20th of the 12th, 2025. And I got to say one and only thing. I'm backing up Perth to back up. Now they don't have maybe their best player on the Sun in five, but I think Brisbane will come and really bring the heat. I really like to see Brisbane to win this. I'd love to see Brisbane and Samana win. This will be a big boost and confidence for the fans. This has been back Brisbane entertainment, big crowd, but I think Perth will take the win a bit stronger. Then I really like to say LA V6s and Sydney Kings to last because that could be the game of the round. So we'll move on to now. This is the interesting game. We go to the Win Entertainment Centre in Hawks, hosting the Can Tight Pants on Saturday night basketball. This could be a whipping of a game. Both teams are not thinking champ. More the Hawks are a little bit behind in the Can Tight Pants. Can Tight Pants, they're in good spirits. They go to Win Entertainment Centre and took a very nice win. Win is a win for the Hawks. And also Can Time Pans as well, I mentioned them. But I'm going to back up massive to the Hawks. They're going to win this game. They had everything against LA 36ers and they couldn't get the job done. They get the win done. Look out. So wait for the LA 36ers and Sydney Kings because boy oh boy, that's going to be interesting. The next game, we go to Mindstate Bank Arena. Tasmania Jack Jumpers hosting the Melbourne United. Melbourne United taking a nice 5-point victory on Boxing Night in Brisbane. They're going to Tasmania against the Jack Jumpers. This is the grand final, in my opinion, 2 years ago. And I think after Melbourne been struggling, Tasman should take this win and win by 3 points or 5 points. They took a win at home. They lost to New Zealand. They won over Southeastern Melbourne Phoenix. Now, Melbourne United takes in and travels into my state. Melbourne United should win this. They're in better position. They're in the top 4 and they should come back and get another win. So I'm backing up Melbourne United for this. We go to Sunday doubleheader. Now, before we get to the last game, I'm going to be showing the second game for Friday night basketball. But we'll do this first. We had Spank Arena. New Zealand Breakers hosting Perth Wildcats. And this is one of the biggest travels for Perth. From Western Australia to Auckland to then we go to New Zealand, part of that area. But I am going to be recognised that Perth should win this game early tonight. Sunday afternoon, you don't know what can happen. Sold out crowd as always happens in New Zealand. And anything can happen. They back up their fans. So we go to now back to Friday night. I know why am I doing this? How I'm doing this? This is my opinion, the game of the round. LA 36ers, Bryce Collins versus Kenyon Davis. What actually beauty. What this could be I'm backing up for the 34th home sold out game. This should be sold out again. This is one of the battles of the band. LA Phoenix are one of the best forms of all time. They are really good. I'm backing them to win this game. I'm really take on them, but Sydney, they are the only team they've been Adelaide. They know how they win. But they now Sydney come back to Adelaide. Kenan Davis in good form. Bryce Collins is in good form. How these two are going to play each other? Well, we'll find out really soon. We go to the final game. Well, we got 2 more games. 2 more games. Brisbane Entertainment Centre. And wow, the host Adelaide 36ers now. And then we get to the Sydney Kings host Southeastern Melbourne Phoenix. We'll share that very shortly. But to end the round from this, it's another long weekend basketball. But Adelaide should win it. Sydney should win it. But this could be another game of the round. I'm backing up Sydney from that loss against Adelaide. Believe me, I'm going to do that. It's just to be safe. But there you have it. There you have it. We have well, I'm going to say Tasmania was the win there. Southeastern Melbourne Phoenix. I do apologise who I said that, but I think, that's one confidence was that. Perth in Brisbane. Adelaide at home in Adelaide. We got Hawk at home. Melbourne over Tasmania. That was the Melbourne United. New Zealand Breakers host Perth Wildcats. Brisbane Bullets host Adelaide 36ers. And the end of the round, the Sydney Canes host Melbourne Phoenix. And I'm going with Sydney Canes. Thank you so much. Time to wrap it up already. Wow. Thank you so much for joining in. Thank you so much for enjoying this mixed sports show here on the BJ Show. Simple that. I'm hoping you enjoyed it. Make sure you give this a like. Much appreciate you subscribe. That's a must gift. Thank you for your gift of subscribing to this channel and enjoying all that watch time. That's a gift for me to give this as much as I can give to you to run this show. Thank you so much for you for listening. All right. Catch you all later. Happy New Year. Hope you all had a lovely Christmas. All right. See you very soon. BJ Show's out. Thanks for listening. Peace.